Namaskar, good morning, Ram, welcome to your own channel AC Astro. So here is the showstopper of the year. To 2024, it looks like that yesterday it was started 2024, but now we are on the verge of end this, and 2025 is going to start, and there is a showstopper that is 2024 yearly horoscope for all the 12 ascendants. But I can bet here that the video you are going to see here, the predictions, the presentation, you have not seen anywhere. Let's welcome Akashji from Calgary, Canada, with Aries horoscope. Namaskar, Ram Akashji.
Namaskar, Rohiji, Ram Ram. Yes, so finally so quickly the year is ending, and we will start with the Aries 2025 horoscope predictions for in detail. I don't think so on YouTube you will find such videos where everyone will talk in so much detail for every transit of 2025. That is the real yearly horoscope, Rohitji. It's not like, okay, first what the horoscope happens on the day one and that is your yearly horoscope. No. So in 2025 is a year where Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, everyone is transiting, and Jupiter is transiting multiple times, retrograde, entering into exaltation also. So it's a very kind of awesome year for all the people. Moving on, starting with January of 2025. 4th of January, Mercury will enter into Sagittarius. Now, Mercury entering into Sagittarius is the third house lord and the sixth house lord entering into the ninth house. That means there can be some kind of short distance travel for work, or for what you say, for pilgrimage. There can also be a possibility of higher education that happens. So January onwards, people can start applying for anything to do with education and education related stuff. Later, Makar Sankranti will mark, and January 14th is when Sun will enter into Capricorn. Now Sun is the lord of the fifth house. Going to the 10th house means a lot of blessings in your career, and there can be great news. That means what Sun is associated with your soul, as well as fame, name, ability, your rank, profession, business, all the politics that you are supposed to be involved in, and your ego, anger, everything is ruled by 10th house as well, and Sun is the karaka of such things. Power will be seen, but same way ego problem can arise. So very careful about how you approach your transit of Sun. But it's a very awesome transit of fifth house lord in the 10th house. That means when the Trikona lord is in the Kendra, and especially in this Vishnu stan, a very beautiful time for people in terms of career, in terms of authority, in terms of profession. Mars, on the other hand, enters into Gemini. Now, when we look at Mars here, it is the ascendant lord going to the third house. That means hard work will also be seen here during this time. Nothing will come easy. There will have to be lot of struggle, lot of hard work that you have to be pushing in during this time. So, and because Mars is a very courageous planet, the third house, that is the house of courage, your friendship, hobbies, sports, and whatnot, you will feel that during this time you're absolutely very aligned towards the the courage part and the initiative part of your life. So it's a beautiful time. January is a month of a lot of initiation and attaining power. Then Mercury enters into Capricorn. So Mercury is always behind Sun, sometimes goes ahead of Sun, then comes again behind of Sun. So this is how Mercury works. And here the third house lord is in the 10th house, sixth house lord in the 10th house. So you will get some beautiful news related to your workplace. Communication will be at the peak, and wealth will also be. There will be a lot of wealth opportunities also that you may see and feel here, and suddenly hidden wealth, because it is eighth from the third house. So hidden wealth can be seen during this time. Finally, Venus says that, okay, it's beginning of the year and I will get exalted here. So Venus gets exalted on 28th of January. What a beautiful time for all the Aries ascendant people in January to move abroad or think of moving into a foreign country, into a foreign place, or going for a long distance travel. And just after the New Year celebration, now this is the time for vacation. So a beautiful time for all the people who have these kind of placements. Now, one important thing that we need to understand here is that Jupiter is still in retrograde motion. in your second house. So that means again related to investments and wealth, you have to reconsider a lot of things. And Rahu and Ketu and Saturn are still in the same position as last year. They will change you with due course in the mid of the year, but yes, it is currently the same. So for January 2025, the main focus will be on your career and the courage or the initiatives that you need to take for higher learning, or we can tell about of initiative to at least start up new things. So new year, start up new things. All the best for January. Moving on to February. Well, before that, 2025 yearly horoscope. I know everyone would be keen to understand what their chart and what their current Mahadasha, as well as these transits, will put an impact on their life. Here we go. You can book the 2025 yearly horoscope. The link is in the description. Also on acastro.ca, the first section will be yearly horoscope appointments. All the best, guys. For February of 2025, here is when Jupiter will turn direct into Taurus. So lot of financials, anything to do with finances, with family, with your, with something, commitments that you have done in the past, and your speech and your, what you say, the bank balance that you have, now it is going to start increasing because Jupiter is now in full force. It is completely in direct motion in Taurus and will be approaching towards Gemini very, very soon. Now this is an important time to also understand your family values, because Jupiter is all about spirituality as well. So going to your family, trying to understand the family values is of utmost importance. Then Mercury enters into Aquarius. Now I told you, sometimes Mercury is behind the sun, sometimes ahead the sun, then sun will come, then it will again go behind, then ahead. So this is like Mercury is going on and off this way. That's why it's called the young prince, which is very fast. Now what's happening here is the third house lord in the 11th house. That means the lord of the social media in the house of social circle. So now it's going to be a very overwhelming time where you may be completely going outside, meeting a lot of people. There can be also a lot of social interactions, but a disciplined approach needs to be maintained because Saturn is there, and Saturn is going to dominate Mercury here and tell that, a disciplined approach in your social circles, in anything to do with, your wishes, your hope. To achieve everything, a disciplined approach will be required. Then Sun, on the other hand, enters into Aquarius. Now, Sun entering into Aquarius is like, uh, it is going to be, coming in combination with Saturn. So everyone thinks Saturn and Sun both are not together, but there is a very beautiful story how Saturn hesitates first to call Sun into Aquarius, but then later when Sun comes, he understands that the it's not like the, what you say, the heart of Sun that is so aggressive. It is the nature of Sun. Like, it is not a bad planet. The Even Parashara Rishi calls Sun as a very aggressive planet. It tells that Sun is a malefic, or we call Krura Graha. Saturn understands that this Krurta is only because of the appearance and the the qualities of Sun, the qualities of being very heat oriented, very, very aggressive, and that is required for the life force. So sometimes you have to understand that anyone or parents, who become very aggressive towards us, it's not only because they are bad people. They are trying to put you in the right direction, and for some time, for that, a force is required. Same way here, Saturn and Sun does not give you bad results at all. In fact, it makes sure that your wishes, your hopes, and your aspirations will be at the peak of getting completed. There can also be possible that during this time, speculative gains can be at the highest because the fifth house lord has gone to the 11th house. That means proper Mahalakshmi Yoga. Like Lakshmi Mata is completely, what you say, going to be very, very favorable for you. So, awesome time for all the, what you say, Aries ascendant people. One thing that I want to tell you is that, do subscribe so that, we also make very, very detailed video about all the small transits also. This is going to be a big transit this year, so make a lot of if you subscribe, you'll be able to be with us. Mars then turns direct into Gemini. Okay, now Mars was retrograde, and now currently it has again become direct. Understand, whenever Mars will become direct, it will become more. This is the year of Mars, number 9. You have to understand this is going to be an aggressive Mars this time. That means your courage, your ability to complete task will be at utmost proper awesome, what do you say, you will be absolutely powerful. That's what I can say. One of the most beautiful places for Mars to be is in the third house, by the way, because that is the house of courage, and Mars is the one that has the courage. So the aspects of Mars are also going to be very, very awesome for you. Finally, Mercury enters into Pisces. Now, when Mercury enters into Pisces and Venus is currently exalted there, it is called Neech Bhang Raj Yog. On top of that, Mercury on an individual level is also making a Viparit Raj Yog. That means it is the sixth house lord in the 12th house. So that means during this time, 27th of February onwards, it's going to be a very, very mixed results for the foreign travel, for the long distance what you say, long distance achievements, as well as there can be also some problems that is related to your health, and especially on the genitals, that means related to your lower abdomen. This is the problem because Venus is putting a debilitated aspect on the sixth house, and Venus rules the genitals of the body. It's with Rahu here, so again we have to be, it's a time of being careful. Rahu, Mercury and Venus together, they are all mischief. All mischief is going to happen, and especially in the 12th house can create a fear from enemies. So we don't want to get into any trouble with the government or with enemies, or with going to hospitals or jail and stuff like that. This is the house that 12th house rules. uh, we can go to foreign countries, we can go for leisure, we can go for holidays, we can be in our control, we can enjoy to the fullest. That is what is required, but not anything extreme than that. Okay, all the best, guys, for February, one of the most awesome months, especially for courage, lot of courage, but this courage should be used in the right direction, not in the wrong direction. Okay, all the best. Here, March, beginning of March, the exalted Venus will get retrograde in Pisces. Now, this is the time that you have to reconsider on a lot of things, because a Maraka, that means the second house and the seventh house lord, is getting retrograde in the 12th house. And absolutely, this is the time to undo any problems that you have created in the beginning of the transit of Venus exalted, because Venus gets exalted in the 12th house. You do not fear, you do not have fear of enemies, or you do not have any kind of spiritual approach to your life. But now when Venus gets retrograde, this is a time to actually have a very spiritual approach. So March, during the beginning of the month only, it's very spiritual approach that you need to take. Then Sun enters into Pisces. Now you can see a stellium, four planets, Sun and Rahu together. So that means, what does this mean? This means that there is going to be an eclipse happening very, very soon. So March, we will discuss about the eclipse also. But yeah, when Mars and Rahu, when Sun and Rahu are together, and especially in this 12th house, absolutely very careful. This has happened last year. This is happening now. Anything that happened during that time, now it's going to be more enhanced, because Venus is also a retrograde. So very careful in terms of losses or expenses. Then Mercury retrogrades into Pisces. Venus retrograde, Mercury is getting retrograde. There is an eclipse happening in the 12th house. So lot of things. Sorry, eclipse happening in the 6th house. When no, it will be moon will also come here. Yes, right. Eclipse happening from the 12th house. So lot of careful, very, very careful approach in your life, that how things are, what you need to take care of. And in fact, because 12th house is the house of losses and foreign travel expenses, so make sure that during this time, if any foreign travel is happening in March, very careful about it. Try to be as much as what you say, vigilant in your documents, because remember, Mars is also become direct now in the third house of communication, and aggressive communication can happen. So there can be fights, there can be verbal as well as written fights, and this is what indicating your chart is indicating. So careful. And then the big transit of 2025, the first big transit, that Saturn finally, it enters to the 12th house in a Dushtan. So understand, whenever Saturn will be in the 6th, 8th and 12th house, it will give you very good results. But can you see how many planets are there in the 5th house? It's in the 12th house, it's going crazy there. So that means very careful about your expenses. What is the 12th house? Expenses, losses, anything to do with fear, government fear, hospitals, jail, anything to do with foreign lands, isolation, spiritual bliss, introvertness, and we can go on and on. 12th is the third from the 10th, it can show that struggle in terms of maintaining your daily work and routine, or what we call about your career occupation. Same way, it is second from the 11th house. That means the spending after the gains. So it's lot of things, and it is 12th from the ascendant, which means we have to be absolutely vigilant and careful during this time. But Saturn transit brings a very big, very good event for us. We are going to be making a full video on the transit of Saturn. So do subscribe so that you are a part of our family, and when we make this complete video in lot of detail, you will understand the story, you will understand the aspects, you will understand the real indication of the Saturn transit. Saturn is going to aspect your second house, so wealth kind of it's going to get slow, but you have to understand still Jupiter is there, so it will make sure that the wealth is not stopped, it will keep coming. Saturn is aspecting on your sixth house, and that is the seventh aspects. So a lot of ups and downs will happen in the area related to your workplace also. And Saturn is aspecting the ninth house, that means your destiny. Saturn sitting in the 12th house, aspecting the ninth house with 10th aspect, means there can be some kind of professional what we say, some kind of professional indication where you may move abroad because of your professional life, because it is also the 10th house lord. So a lot of beautiful things will happen when Saturn will transit. Finally, the aspects will be on the friendly houses, so it will be a very little bit of relax for everyone. Those whose Sati start, those whose moon sign is Aries, we are going to be making completely separate videos on Sati also. So do subscribe so that you can make a you should not miss that videos. Saturn in the 12th house here, it's not a very bad placement, by the way, because the 11th house lord is in the 12th house. So money will be coming through foreign sources. So that's a beautiful thing. So work will be hectic, but it will be there. Nowadays, work hectic is okay, but work there is important. So a beautiful transit of Saturn. All the best. A detailed video is coming very soon, so subscribe for that. April 2025 is when Mars will enter into Cancer. Now, Mars enters into Cancer, and it is a period of Mars getting debilitated. So, understand, Mars is debilitated, Mercury is debilitated. So, two planets are right now in debilitation. Here, Mars in the fourth house, not a very good time for any kind of property transactions. Depending on your birth chart, for that we are doing the yearly analysis as well. So depending on your birth chart, make sure that during this time, whenever there is any kind of you spending some kind of money for properties, spending some kind of money for for repair, for renovation, for conveyances, it's a right now a no. Yeah, career wise, because Mars is putting an exalted aspect there, one of the most beautiful time. In fact, partnership also very, very beautiful time for all the people. There's a lot of gains from these areas, so all the best. Mercury finally turns direct into Pisces, and then Venus also turns direct into Pisces. 7th of April, when Mercury will turn into Pisces, direct into Pisces. So, a lot of restoration of your workplace benefits, lot of restoration in your communication. Short distance travel will happen to a long distance place for a very beautiful moment, and it will be very pleasant. Venus turning direct into Pisces is going to give you again relief from some kind of expenses that were going on, but still it does not say that expenses, the area is gone, because you may be thinking of doing some expenses in terms of luxury items. So very careful. In fact, for your partnership, for marriage also, there can be lot of expenses that can happen, because a lot of people of Aries ascendant, because Venus is getting exalted in the beginning of the year only, that means there is possibility that marriage or relationships can happen, because very powerful Venus trying to get you getting into arrangements of marriage. Finally, April marks with April 14, when Sun will get into Aries. Now, Sun getting into Aries is going to make it exalted. When Sun is exalted, it is absolutely a very blissful time. Your soul is at highest power, and not you, everyone in this world. The Sun will be in the same position for them, so exalted. So if you are aggressive, the other person in front of you is aggressive as well, and it is in the first house. That means your body, face, mind, attitude, yourself, your physical outlook, your fame, habits, nature, so many things, everything Remember why ascendant is so important, because every damn thing is linked to the ascendant only of anyone. Okay, so this is a beautiful time for your self development, but ego will be at rise. That is where we have to make sure that we control ourselves. Wealth will be very good, health will be very good. Whenever the fifth house lord will come to the ascendant, it's going to be blessing, there's going to be wealth that comes to you. So April, you can mark it as the sign of getting a lot of wealth. But on the other hand, no real estate transactions should be made, because Mars is debilitated. So when Mars is debilitated, this is the time that you may suddenly fall into some trap, or suddenly get some losses done, because it is also the eighth house lord. So very careful. Otherwise, beautiful. April is a very, very beautiful month. 2025 yearly horoscope. I know everyone must be wondering, what is it about us? How do we change our job? How do we go ahead with our uh, other stuff? So everything, we can do an appointment based on your personalized horoscope, and WhatsApp link is in the description. And those who don't want this but want to have their whole chart reading, that is also available, but priority will be given to the 2025 yearly horoscope. All the best. May looks like a lot of transit happening in May, and that's like because one of the biggest transit that everyone is waiting for. Number one is Gemini, Jupiter, and number two is Rahu and Ketu is happening here. Now, with the beginning of May, Mercury will enter into Aries. So finally, Mercury is out of its debilitation, getting into Aries. The third house lord is sitting 11th from itself. The sixth house lord is sitting 8th from itself. So this means that there can be certain ups and downs in workplace, but there will be lot of gains through communication, lot of gains through traveling. So those who are into any of this business related to traveling, related to law, related to surgeries, related to medicine, one of the great time for them. Also, Mercury in the first house is going to make sure that your body language and your expression will be absolutely wonderful, and your communication will be well received by the other people. Then the biggest transit of May 2025 is when Jupiter enters into Gemini. Now, before uh, uh, like, what a beautiful, I would say, movement of Jupiter. If you see, the aspect will now happen on the seventh house for all the people who are related to Aries. So those who have been waiting for marriage, this is the time that marriage will start or may trigger for them, because Jupiter put an aspect on the seventh house. That means gains is going to be there. Jupiter putting aspect on the ninth house, foreign travel. Those who have been waiting, wondering that when we will go to foreign country, when we may get into any kind of area related to higher education, when our luck actually works. So this is the time your luck is going to actually work for you, because the seventh aspect of Jupiter is here, and the ninth aspect, what a beautiful aspect on the 11th house. This is going to be the house that is related to your gains. So lot of gain, like, this is one of the most beautiful transit that you will see, and a detailed video for this transit with all the facts and figures will be published on the channel. So do subscribe so that you are a part of it, and you do not miss this video as well. Now, in the third house, when Jupiter comes to here, expansions. So that means those who are very young and have younger brothers, or are waiting for the younger brothers and sisters, this is the time that you as siblings will be very, very happy. Also, those who are actually elder, they will get a lot of benefit from siblings and neighbors. This is the time that your communication will be at the peak, and there will be always, and whenever Jupiter is in the third house, the growth will be based on the communication that you do. So beautiful time for all the people. Sun entering into Taurus. Every month Sun has to transit. That's why we have 1 year. Sun transits into each zodiac and completes a cycle, and then the year completes, and then we say Happy New Year. So this is how it works. Now, Sun transiting into the second house is the fifth house lord and second house relationship. That means speculative gains at a very, very larger level is seen. Some kind of big money that you have been awaiting is May is the year for you. And also, second house is the house of family. So during this time, starting a family or joining a family or getting married is also seen. See, the fifth house is also love, romance, children. So a lot of things that your family may expand also. That may be also possibility that children or those who are waiting for their conception is going to happen. So beautiful time for you. Another big transit, Rahu and Ketu. So when Rahu and Ketu has now finally left your your 12th house and your 6th house, Doshtana, it is coming to the 11th house. One of the most favorable placement for Rahu is the 11th house. And one of the most favorable placement for Ketu is the fifth house. Why? Fifth house is ninth from the ninth. It is the house of mantra chanting, of devotion, of spirituality as well. So Ketu is going to be in lot of spiritual bliss. It is the house of sun. So a little bit of challenge here of Ketu expressing itself because it is not so powerful in the house of sun. It is already Leo is a very very what you say, it's also Gandanta point where the Magha nakshatra happens. So here when Ketu enters into Magha nakshatra, that will be a time of lot of bliss, but before that Ketu will be struggling. So give it lot of fuel through your enthusiasm, through your mantra chanting, through your devotional and spiritual practices. Rahu on the other side, it is said that this is the actual, the pakka ghar, the preferred ghar by Rahu, that is Aquarius. Here it will act like Saturn, but also it is the Karaka of gains. During this time, it will act like, if you are in discipline, then a lot of gains is coming. Now, since we are talking about the yearly and quickly, but in detail we are going to discuss about the aspects of Rahu, the position of Rahu, the kind of results it will give in lot of detail. 11th house is the house that is related to your wishes, hope, money, income, large money, and Rahu coming to this house means large money. But for that large money, large platform also needs to be created. So absolutely there is, if you have the platform, then large money will come. We will discuss about this in lot of details in the bigger video that we create. It will be uploaded on the channel very close to the Rahu and Ketu transit. So I would suggest that please subscribe right now. Otherwise, you will miss the opportunity to get into a lot of detail about Rahu and Ketu, one of the best transits that is happening. And what we need, Rohitji, this time Rahu is going to be completely aspected by Jupiter, the ninth aspect of Jupiter. So that means Rahu is going to become a benefic. So Rahu is a benefic Rahu for 2025. After 18th of May, one of the most benefic Rahu that you will see amidst of all the problems that are going to happen in the world, especially because it's the Mars year and Mars is aggressive. There can be fires, wildfires, there can be warlike situations are still there. So amidst of that, Rahu is going to be very positive, and Rahu is also very important for diplomatic positions. So lot of diplomatic positions will be, lot of things through verbal commitment, or lot of things through your wishes and hope will also happen. Beautiful transit. Do subscribe so that you see the bigger video. Mercury, on the other hand, enters into Taurus, Rohitji. Now, Mercury is this is a regular movement. Whenever Sun will be there, it will go ahead of Sun, behind of Sun. This is the time it is behind of Sun, and it is entering into the second house. Look at, it is sitting. The third house Lord is sitting 12th from itself now. Expenses related to family travel also can be seen, short distance travel. There can also be possibility that during this time you may be expanding, or you may be for your workplace or for health reasons, you may have to travel to some place. Why? Because if you see, the sixth house Lord is Mercury here, and sitting exactly ninth from itself. Huh? If you see, it is sitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is 9? 9 is always pilgrimage or going somewhere for higher education. So here, this is what is possible, and this is the house. And Mercury here reflects your health. So you may also be traveling somewhere long distance for your health recovery. Okay, all the best for this. But monetary wise, we are seeing a lot of gains also. So there is no problem in money. And money wise, so you don't have any problem after May, after Rahu enters your 11th house. Yeah, absolutely awesome. Venus enters into Aries. Here, Venus is the lord of the second house, lord of the, it's a Maraka coming to the Lagna. This is the time. It's not bad. It's very beautiful because it is going to aspect its own sign, the seventh house. So, relationship wise, lot of good things are happening, and placement of Venus is going to make sure that you will start investing in yourself, your body, your mind, your face, your attitude will change, charismatic personality will happen. Venus is a very diplomatic planet, so your nature will become a little bit of like a diplomat. So a very beautiful time for all the people. Rohitji, do you have anything to say about Rahu and Ketu transit?
This is the most awaited transit, and the year you are discussing 2025. I think I never seen this type of transits. And when we will reach to November, you will sit like this. That what is happening here? So Rahu and Ketu are transiting. Saturn is transiting. Jupiter is transiting. But Rahu and Ketu are transiting to some very important sign. This is very. You know, Mool Trikon sign of Rahu, we count Aquarius. And
Yes,
I'm thinking curiously for this because my second house, and you are talking about Aries, then definitely 11th house going, Rahu is going there. So, yes, a video you are preparing in Rahu, you were telling me yesterday, this will give goosebumps to every person.
exactly. Especially those who are trying to achieve political status.
Yes,
One of the best time for their placement of Rahu this year. All the best for Aries ascendant people. For May, June, Mercury enters into Gemini. Now Mercury enters into completely its own sign. Rahu in the those who have started work related to social media. One of the best time for them is 2025 after the transit of Jupiter. So those who are Aries ascendant and want to work on social media, online sales, anything to do in marketing, anything to do in writing, anything to do in publishing, one of the best times for all the people. Here, Mercury coming to the third house will restore a lot of courage. Problems related to your, communication related to your siblings or workplace will also be taken care of. There can also be possibility that there will be struggle in health because see, the Lord of the sixth house is in the third house. It's an Upchaya house. Upchaya means lot of correction is required in this house. So, lot of correction related to your health is required, and especially in your neck, cervical spine area, and your ears area. This is where, and the arm shoulder area, this is where you may have some kind of treatment that can happen. Then finally Mars enters into Leo. What a wonderful position of Lagna Lord going to the fifth house with Ketu. But whenever Mars and Ketu are together, the aggressive energy becomes 100 times more because Kuja, Eva Ketu. Mars and Ketu are none, one and the same. Mars is just above the surface and Ketu is below the surface. That's why Ketu is called a very secretive planet. And Mars is above the surface. That means everything that can be seen on your face, the aggressiveness, that is Mars. And something that is inside you, that is boiling, that is Ketu. Past. I will take the revenge of the past life or the past karma that you have done. That is Ketu. And Ketu sitting here in, and Mars also coming to the fifth house of your past karmas. So you may benefit from these karmas. There is going to be uh, possibility of lotteries, people winning a lot of lotteries during this time. Why? Because the eighth house lord and the ascendant lord is in the fifth house of Mahalakshmi Stan. What a beautiful, and if when moon transits here and moon makes a combination with Mars, that is the time that your lottery will happen. Or it's not about only lottery, it's about speculative gains, some kind of big gains that are happening. Very good time for children, very good time for conception, very good time for education also. Aggressively education will be done. Many people will be completing their, getting their results. Very beautiful results will be coming. So one of the best time for all the people for Aries ascendant is June of 2025. Then Sun will enter into Gemini. Now, what happens here? The absolute combination for lottery, by the way. Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, all sitting, Mercury in the own sign. If we see the aspect of Jupiter is going on the 11th house of gains, the fifth house lord sitting 11th from itself. What do we need? One of the best placements that is happening for June. You should take the photograph of this and keep it with you, that okay, this is the time, that is 15th of June onwards, till 22nd of June. Between this period is lot of speculative gains that you can see. Lot of gains, like everywhere you will be getting gains. One of the most beautiful uh, time for the year. Then Mercury enters into Cancer in progression from the third house. Lot of gains from communication. In fact, this is the time that you may now start communicating related to real estate, related to your in fact health of your mother. If there's any problem, it's also going to become better. This is the time to start communicating and getting a conveyance or getting some kind of house, real estate made, some kind of construction done at your house, because Mars is also in progression now from the fourth house, from its debilitated sign. So a lot of good things are happening in the home area, in the house area. Many people will also get work from home opportunities during this time. So beautiful for you. Then Venus enters into its own sign in Taurus. It's a Maraka sign, but still it is the significator of wealth for Aries ascendant people. Now, what all combination do you need? Tell me. Your Lagna Lord is in the fifth house of wealth, Mahalakshmi, past life karmas. Your second house Lord is in the second house. Your fifth house Lord is 11th from itself. Your 11th house Lord Rahu is in the 11th house. What do you need during this time? June 2025 is one of the best uh, months for Aries ascendant people. Everything that you desire, you will get during this time. Rahu, keep Rahu happy. Do Durga Saptasati part. Keep doing Durga. Om Dam Durga Nama. Om Dam Durga Nama. That is a key mantra for you after 2025 of actually May of 2025. After that, that's the key mantra for you. Durga Durga. Completely devote your life to Lord Ma Durga, and you will see the benefit here. All the best, man. And then 2025 yearly horoscope. When we talk about this, you can book online with us on acastro.ca, or there is a WhatsApp link in the description. You can click on it, and then you will be able to talk about the yearly horoscope and how it's going to what is the procedure for it and whatnot. All the best, guys. See you on the other side, and let's see your personal horoscope, how you can make the benefit of the opportunities that are coming. For July, Saturn is now going to get retrograde. No problem. Saturn getting retrograde is just to make sure that you start working on your habits. Start working on all the expenditure that you were doing, which were unnecessary. Try to become more disciplined in the sleep pattern of your life. Sleeping on time is an absolute important thing. The problem with all of us, what has happened is that we ignore the basics of the life. We ignore the nature's rule. And what we are doing, everything we are coming into the influence of only Rahu, that is illusion. If you see the nature's rule, 5 a.m. in the morning, Rohit ji, the birds will start chirping just before sunrise. Okay, wherever, however it is there, the bird will start chirping, they will come out, they will start showing their presence. As soon as the sunset happens, they are absolutely back to their nest, they are sleeping, they are quiet. This is the nature's rule, and this is what human or mankind or the what you say, the rishis or the higher souls follow. They sleep exactly after sunset or around sunset, after, and they immediately get up before sunset. And that is the the 1% people on the earth that are very successful will have same kind of combination like this, Rohitji. You believe it or not, go to read any book, how to be a millionaire, billionaire, a billionaire's guide. The first thing that you will see is that they get up at 5 a.m. That is Brahma Muhurat, because that is the time your brain is absolutely so powerful, so relaxed, that whatever you desire during that time, you will be able to achieve it. So sleep habit should be number one. Here, Saturn retrograde, will make a complete video on Saturn retrograde for everyone. So do subscribe so that you do not miss this video. Very important. Why Saturn gets retrograde, which nakshatra will get retrograde, how the impact will be on your enemies, on your fear, what you need to do during this time, how you need to cut your losses, how you need to make sure that expenses does not happen. Everything we'll discuss. And this is what Saturn is, the real thing that is supposed to be done. Then Sun enters into Cancer here. Now this is a very important period. Like how we discussed about real estate transaction happening in the last time, this is the time that we have to avoid again in the month of July, after 16th of July, when Sun enters into Cancer, because it will sitting 12th from the 5th house. There can also be possibility that your children may be traveling abroad during this time for some kind of education, some kind of new assignment, some kind of work related activities. Also possible that your lover, or there may be some breakups, or there can be some kind of disputes between you guys. So very careful time when Sun enters into Cancer here. Then Mercury gets retrograde here, again going back to the third house. So this means that if any problem is happening in the area related to creativity, with your romance and whatnot, here Mercury is going back to make sure that your communication is still at the par, you are at absolute bliss, and there is no problem related to communication. But because fourth house is where Mercury is getting retrograde, so a lot of communication issues can happen in dealing related to real estate. That is where, and that is the place that you should avoid most of the transaction during this time. But very good time for mother, making your relationship more stronger with your mother, with your family, to go to the roots, try to go back to time and understand what your family values are, and try to bring that. A very beautiful time for all the people. Retrograde is a very important period of introspection, going inside and trying to understand that, okay, what went wrong, let us repair it. Okay, then Venus enters into Gemini. Again, Venus is in progression, there is no problem. Venus and Jupiter are together. This is Lakshmi Narayan yoga, one of the most awesome yogas that happens for wealth creation. And absolutely, the Lord of Wealth is sitting with the Lord of Destiny, aspecting the house of destiny together. So your destiny will be rising during this time. Amidst of all these retrograde planets, it is still possible that you will generate a lot of wealth through your communication. If anything you want to do during this time is important thing is to publish anything. If you are writing a book, if you are looking to this video right now, and if you're in writing business, in publishing business, this is the time to publish the book. 26th of July should be your date of publishing the book, because Venus enters here and it's a blissful time. You will achieve the most wonderful period of time for you, like one of the best times. Very happy. All the best, guys. Beautiful time for you. Later, when we see Mars will enter into Virgo. Now, Lagna Lord in the sixth house. That means lot of hidden problems related to your health will surface here. See, looking at all the planets and looking at retrograde aspect of Saturn also here, lot of things related to your health will come on surface. There can be possibility that blood loss can happen, and blood loss means either blood donation, or there may be possibility of, when you come back. Now you're listening to this video, you will come back in July, and when you listen to this, you'll say, oh my god, I went to a blood bank, I went for my blood test, I went to this, I went to that. There were lot of enemies that really did not were not able to survive in front of me. There is possibility that loan and any dispute that is happening, loan is getting approved here. All the disputes is going away. Some long term fear that you had is now off your mind. So a lot of beautiful things is happening, because it is also making a Viprit Rajya. All the best, man. This is one of the awesome time, but only problem is that before the beginning of the month should be a little bit of careful. That's what July 2025 tells for all the people. But we are going to be making each and every transit in a lot of detail, so do subscribe so that you are a part of this. And when the detailed video comes, you do not miss it. You are always here. All the best. August 2025, Mercury will finally turn direct into Cancer. So this Mercury is like always like this. Sometimes retrograde, sometimes direct, sometimes retrograde, sometimes direct. So this is what happens, and that is because young people are always gets retrograde. If you see in general life also, young people will always, the parents will say go back, get. So I'll tell you a simple example of my daughter. She goes to the basement. She'll put all the lights on, and she will come and she will continue her work. Then what will I say? I'll say go back, put the lights off. What happened? She went in retrograde motion to undo something that she has done in the past. Very simple thing. If you, that's what Mercury is. Mercury is a very young planet. That's why it's keep getting retrograde and it keeps getting direct. And that is the time retrograde motion is that okay, you said something very stupid, you wrote something very stupid, go back, repair that and come back. This is what Mercury retrograde and Mercury direct period is. Mercury in direct motion is very good for now dealing in anything to do with your real estate. Sun is also taken higher degrees and now will enter into its own sign. So one of the most beautiful time for all the people. Here, Mercury is turning direct. So go wild. Try to make all the communication possible. In health also, you will see a lot of good things. In wealth also, you will see a lot of good things. Then Sun finally enters into Leo. When we talk about Sun entering into Leo, this is the real placement of Sun, the Mool Trikon placement of Sun. Very good for education, for romance, for career, for startups and stuff. But since Ketu is sitting here with Sun, and very soon Moon will enter into an eclipse. There will be an eclipse happening. So eclipse season is coming. So very careful in approach towards children, or your attitude towards children, or attitude towards your loved ones, or attitude towards your education. You should not take things lightly, because this is the time that eclipse fever is here. So a lot of wrong things also can happen. Careful. Venus, on the other hand, enters into Cancer. Now, when Venus will enter into Cancer, the second house lord in the fourth house, that means some fixed asset will be created. So this property or this vehicle or conveyances or any land that you have been eyeing, now this is the time that things might happen and you might get it in your possession. All the best. Also, Venus aspecting your 10th house, professional career, while also lot of beautiful things. Fame factor is coming. Fifth house is also fame, by the way. Sun entering into the house of fame is also very, very good. Luck, house of luck. So your luck will be at the peak during this time. And it is there only because Jupiter is aspecting your ninth house. So luck is there. All the best. Mercury, on the other hand, enters into Leo. Now, Mercury is the lord of the third house, entering third from itself. So, there may be some kind of communication problem with your loved ones, and that is seen here. Why? Because of the eclipse that is happening. Secondly, it is also because Mercury here is going to come in affliction of Ketu. Ketu is a headless planet. So, this is the time in your love life, in your creativity, in startups, in your things, you can take some headless decision, which will be very, very regretful for all the people. So try and mark these dates, 30th of August, on your calendar for the 2025. That okay, this is the time then this kind of planetary positions is happening. Not to take bigger decisions in love life, not to take bigger decisions in startups, not to take bigger decisions for the education of children or for your education as well. Very careful. Okay, all the best. I'm again telling we'll be making all the detailed videos for each and every transit. So make sure that you know these are just the indicators of what is happening in 2025. But this is not, you may think there is detail, but lot of more details will also be coming for all the people. So all the best. 2025 yearly horoscope is also there, so you can book online on acastro.ca, or there is another option of you know WhatsApp. Link is in the description, WhatsApp, and then you'll be able to get the appointment for 2025 year reading based on your personalized tailored chart, that okay, this is how it is and this is how it is going to be for you. These are the opportunities, these are the obstacles. All the best. September 2025. See, finally we have reached September. Here Mars is entering into Libra. Okay, the ascendant lord is exactly opposite, in the opposite seventh house here, aspecting its own sign, aspecting your career, aspecting the second house of wealth. What does this mean? That partnership wise, lot of beautiful things are happening. There is going to be lot of great things. Mangal karya, that means something related to marriage also can happen, something related to career also, growth in career. That it's an exalted aspect of Mars on the 10th house. So that means designation wise, those who are waiting for some kind of designation change or some kind of elevation in their career, this is happening. On the other hand, Venus enters into Leo here. Now again, the second house lord is in the fifth house, the seventh house lord is sitting 11th from itself. So it's a very beautiful placement for all the people to get speculative gains. The because the eclipse energy is still there, so we have to be careful. But otherwise, the approach related to marriage is now to be taken in consideration. Those Aries people who are thinking of getting married, this is the time to finalize the date, so that November you can get married. That's what I would say. Also, education wise, those who have been thinking, okay, now to achieve more status and more respect in the society, we need to do an MBA, executive MBA, whatnot. This is also the right time to enroll. Many people will be starting their education during this time, so all the best for you. Mercury enters into Virgo, into debilitation, into exaltation, putting a debilitated aspect on the 12th house where Saturn is already retrograde. So foreign connection can be a little bit weaker during this time. You may not gain from a lot of foreign things, but on the other hand, your debts will be minimized. A lot of minimal debt will come. You will come to minimal debt. There can also be possibility that all the trouble related to your enemies, your workplace may sort out through a little bit of small communication. So sometimes we fighting over long things. It's better to communicate and clear things off. So that kind of energy is also happening. But for a distress in foreign countries seen, like a lot of problems in a visa and all these kind of stuff for foreign travel can be happening. But because Saturn is retrograde there, so try one more time, it will happen for sure. Sun enters into Virgo again. Sun is always, I told you, Mercury either behind of Sun, ahead of Sun. This is what Mercury keeps doing. Now, Sun here is coming to the sixth house again in, in ascending order from the fifth house. That means it's a great time for all the people. Make sure that enemies during this time, if there are things that can be sorted out on sitting on table, this is more important. In workplace also, you may shine during this time. There can also be possibility that the Sun, only one thing is not good. When it comes to the sixth house, it's put the seventh aspect, that is kind of debilitated aspect of Sun on the 12th house. That means 12th house is the house of jail, hospitals, and also mental asylum. So here lot of sleep related problem will come, a lot of problem related to your anxiety, anxious behavior will come. So September and October, because these are the months where always Sun will be in this position and get into uh, uh, what you say, debilitation in October of every year. So that is the time we have to be very careful. Okay, all the best, guys. But Overall, it looks very nice. See, bigger planets like Jupiter is taking care of all the beautiful things. Jupiter aspecting your seventh house, your ninth house, your 11th house, automatically main aspects of your life, relationship, your luck, and your gains is sorted this year. So don't worry about bigger things. October is a very, very exciting month. Lot of things are happening here. Number one, Mercury is entering into Libra. Now Mercury enters debilitation, enters into Libra. One of again good position for marriage, good position for communication in families for marriage, communication in your partnership also business partnership is going to be very very pleasant. On the same time, Venus enters into debilitation. Now second house lord in the sixth house means some kind of wealth or some kind of loan debt that you have been struggling to get. It may delay more. There can be possibility you may even not get it or get rejection. Not to worry about, it is just very temporary. But now the barrier for the foreign country and foreign travel and trouble related to sleep and everything is now lifted. It's going to be a very pleasant time, and you will start feeling much better also during this time. So beautiful time for your getting getting enlightenment, getting lot of spiritual bliss, getting avoiding losses, sleep pattern becoming better, your fear going down, your enemy is not able to trouble you. So a lot of beautiful things are also happening, but a lot of troublesome, like if you are going through any litigation through your marriage or in your marriage, this is a possible time that you will lose that. That is only possible, but otherwise a lot of good things are also there. Then sun will enter into Libra, into debilitation. So now just imagine the Lord of the seventh house is also debilitated, Lord of the fifth house is also debilitated. So where does it impact the most? It impacts the most on your relationship area. It is where the most of the impact will be there, and that is where you have to be absolutely careful during this time in your relationship aspect. We will be creating a complete, very detailed video about this as well. But you know what? For that, you have to subscribe. So once you're subscribed, then you should be, don't worry, you will keep getting updates way before time for every transit that is happening and where we have to be careful and what transits are bringing opportunities. Sometimes we have opportunities in front of us, but we miss it. Okay, I'll tell you, Rohitji, what opportunity. So when I was working in when we were working, you also were working in media, I was working in media, a lot of opportunities, and there was times when all these bigger celebrities were sitting in by next to me, and we were chatting for like hours and hours, like very big celebrities, like the A class Bollywood actors. But that opportunity, maybe the time was not right. That opportunity could have been materialized in a very different spiritual way also, trying to understand about their life, their birth chart, could have taken their details and analyze their chart. But that time the opportunity went away. It was there, but no one was there to guide. Same way, for guidance, planets, whenever it is, so we are in the AC Astro, we have taken this responsibility to guide every time there is an opportunity, every time there is an obstacle. So both O's will be taken care of. All the best. Later, Jupiter in entering into Cancer, and this is a exalted placement of Jupiter. The aspects completely change. That means all the ups and downs that were happening in your life will be taken care of. In your career area, there will be a lot of growth, even with debilitated aspect of Jupiter. Lot of growth and foreign travel. Anything that has to do with foreign travel or expenditures and losses, you'll get a lot of blessings in that area. Nothing will happen. One of the most awesome transits of Jupiter in a year. That means exactly two houses. It is very rare. And this is the year of Mars. That means all the planets are very aggressive. Mars is the commander this time. Last year Saturn was the one. Everything was slow and everything was just working. This time Mars is taking action super fast. Awesome time for all the people. So Jupiter enters here, a lot of blessing comes in your, lot of growth in your real estate, a lot of growth in your personal home life, family life, lot of things related to your hidden money, and so many things can be seen. Awesome time for all the people. Mercury, on the other hand, will enter into Scorpio. But listen, for Jupiter, we are going to making a very big video as well. That what happens with Jupiter, what is this transit, why it got exalted in Cancer. There's a reason for all the stories and everything. You have to subscribe so that you are a part of us, and then we can get more details about it when we are seeing the video. So wait for it. It's October 2025. I'm just giving you an indication that this is happening, so you can plan accordingly for the whole year. And those who are watching this should sit with a pen and paper to understand that this isn't a problem time. This is obstacle and this is opportunity. So make the O book and try to see that which O will be benefit for you. Then Mercury enters into Scorpio into the eighth house. Eighth house is the house of, sudden ups and downs. Also the house related to diseases, enemies, sorrows, bad habits, intimacy, losses, even losses in journey is seen here. And that is losses or losses in pilgrimage. Like, when you're going for I'll tell you one story about it, Rohitji. So we went to Trambakeshwar once. My daughter was very, very young. Like she was 1.5 year old. So we went only to visit Trimbakeshwar, but it was so crowded. It was raining. It was bad. We were not able to go inside and do a darshan. This is called loss of pilgrimage. So we went to the Dwara, but we were not allowed inside by God, saying that no, it's not your time, go away from here. So that's what this means, that this is the time that pilgrimage also, there may be some disappointments that people may go, or some long distance travel for education also, there may be some disappointments that happen. So careful during this time. Then later, Mars will enter into Scorpio, the ascendant lord in the eighth house. That means inheritance wise, anything that requires your attention or anything that you are supposed to get, you will get it during this time. So one of the most benefit time for all the people. Get for it. Also, bad habits, trouble, enemies, sorrow, all this problem will also go away from your life. So beautiful time for you. October is a very awesome month because of Jupiter transit, and what beautiful transit Jupiter is doing. It's so amazing, like one of the best transits. I think Jupiter in exaltation is going to be like super for you. November is not less. Venus enters into Libra, into its own sign, into the seventh house. Very good for partnerships, very good for love life, very good for your status, and any victory from court cases and always seen from the seventh house. So great time for you. Mercury is going to get retrograde now. So Mercury is again into, it says that okay, you went here, did something wrong, go back. Make sure you are doing something right in communication related to partnership or gains from partnership or for inheritance or for anything to do in your habits. You have to go back, repair yourself and come back. This is what Mercury is saying. And then Jupiter is also getting into retrograde motion. Now Jupiter is getting exalted planet getting into retrograde motion has given you, if you see here from October till November, very, very small time to achieve something which you have been working for a very big time. Now what is this time? This time is to make sure that are you doing anything wrong in that area? Are you doing anything in your career area, in certain research area, or in something to do with your foreign venture? Are you doing anything wrong? Go back and just look at it. If you see here on your chart currently in November, 3 planets, Jupiter, Mercury, Saturn, all are retrograde. Very important planets are retrograde, so very careful during this time. Okay, then Sun enters into Scorpio. Again, eighth house is getting crowded now. Eighth house is house of accidents, sudden ups and downs, problems, struggle, troubles. In fact, it is a good house for gains from partnership and sudden gains in wealth. So sudden gains in wealth is also seen, because I always tell fifth house and eighth house, whenever they will have relationship, gains of wealth is happening. And Sun, fifth house lord, is going to the eighth house, Sakshat. Absolutely he's going there. So this means that there is going to be some kind of wealth that you receive here. On the other hand, Mercury in retrograde motion will enter into Libra. Now here again it tells that in partnership, if you have done any mistake, go back again, sort things out. If you think and if you feel that in partnership right now there is some kind of legal trouble that can come, so let's work on it right now. So these are the things that you have to be working on. Finally, Venus enters into Scorpio. Now the second house lord is in the eighth house. That means gains of wealth is going to be seen during this time, because it is going to aspect the second house. So some wealth, money, your bank balance is going to increase. There is also a possibility that from your family the wealth can come. So let's hope for the best. Saturn, on the other hand, now says finally I am turning direct. Saturn turns direct into Pisces. Very positive placement for all the people. Saturn is going to now put all its aspect with very, very pure intentions, very, very pure, in the direct motion. Now you have got a lot of time, 5 months, 140 days is when Saturn gets retrograde. So 5 months you have got, and this is the time that you must have understood what all were leading you towards losses. Now this is the time to completely devote yourself towards spirituality, towards your family, towards your workplace, and towards your, what we say, towards your education. because these are the places where Saturn is putting aspect. If you have discipline in these areas, nothing, Saturn will not do anything wrong to you. But since, because Saturn is getting direct, there is a lot of things that we can discuss right now, but time constraint is so that we cannot. So it's best for subscription. If you subscribe, what happens, that subscription is free for you, right? You subscribe so that we make the video on this, and then that time you'll get indication about opportunity or obstacle, and you will be able to make the most of it. All the best. Mercury also turns direct into Libra now. Mercury turning direct, getting into the 8th house again, also restores lot of things. So you have sorted out all the problems related to, your partner, your business partner, your spouse, everything now is created. Now it will enter into the 8th house, and there will be a stellium here, 4 planets together. So all the best. Very good time. The time is very good. Jupiter is still retrograde, but still now the planetary placements are becoming very much better after October. The debilitated Sun, debilitated Venus. Now this is better. And December again, a big transit happens. Jupiter enters 5th of December into Gemini in retrograde motion only. So it's a big transit again. Jupiter coming back to its previous sign of communication. So what does this mean whenever Jupiter is doing? So Jupiter went too fast into Cancer, but it said that no, there is a lot of things that is still left for the third house for me to accomplish, like communication, like some of the contracts, some of the verbal commitments and whatnot. So here Jupiter is saying that you need to take care of these items, and then we again move and we progress in life. So not a bad thing. Jupiter is a very good planet. I told you Mercury will enter into Scorpio on 6th of December. There will be a stellium. There are 4 planets in the 8th house. Absolutely. This is Sannyasa Yoga also, by the way. Okay, so whenever 4 planets will sit here, and depending on on your birth chart, if this is there in your birth chart, it's a very special moment for achieving spiritual bliss or maybe enlightenment also. 8th house is a hidden house. A lot of people will be interested in occult during this time, and Aries people are the most people who will be taking a lot of appointments also for occult practices or for understanding what is happening, why there is so much ups and downs in my life, because these are 4 different energies all contained in one house, that is a house of research. So absolutely a very important time. But then 7th of December is when Mars will enter into Sagittarius. Mars is the Lagna Lord going to the 9th house. Your luck, devotion, your attitude towards your father, uh, your religion, everything is going to be so awesome. Your philosophical views is going to be very beautiful, and there's going to be progression only because Mars is entering its sign of exaltation very soon. Sun enters Sagittarius. Again, 5th house Lord, 5th from itself. Good news for people who are trying to achieve or get some kind of children. See, now Ketu is here, so there can be obstacles in creating children during this time. But that obstacle can be come down with the remedies of Ketu. For that, we'll have to see your chart and decide that where Ketu is, what Ketu is, and we can do some remedies related to that as well. But otherwise, Sun here promises if you are planning for the second child, go for it. Awesome time placement for all the people. 9th house is also the house of education. So during this time, you may be going into higher education. Some people in December, or maybe traveling to abroad, foreign countries for their education purpose. So all the best. Now Venus also enters here. Second house Lord in the 9th house. That means expenses related to education for father. Expenses that can be related to your what you say. Travel also is seen during this time. So again, great time for all the people. So it's a beautiful year, by the way, for all the Aries ascendant people. And then Mercury also enters into Sagittarius. So the Sannyasa Yoga now shifts to the 10th house, 9th house. Whenever 4 planets are together, they're in so much of agreement of spirituality that you get towards a lot of spiritual bliss. And this is the house of luck, devotion, father, spirituality, teacher, higher learning, gurus, mentors, and all the 4 planets coming together here. And just imagine, only if you say there's a complete balance here. Only Sun and Mars are what you say Krura, and Mercury and Venus are Soumya. That means they are very calm down planets. So you see, there is a beautiful thing that is happening. That means both are coming in absolute balance. So anger will also not be there, happiness will also not be there. So it's a very beautiful thing that is happening for all the people, all the best guys. One of the most beautiful placement. And Mars is equal to war in 2025. The year 2025 is a numerology associated with number 9. So you calculate 2 to 4, 5, 9. The number 9 is ruled by Mars. Mars represents action, drive, passion, and sometimes aggression. A 9 year tends to symbolize endings, completion, and transformation. It's a time for wrapping up old cycles and preparing for no new beginnings. That means I'm not talking about war in the world, I'm talking about war inside yourself, like inside you. You'll be very much ready to give up your old cycles and get into new cycles. You want to be very much into the into a lot of drive, passion. Aggressive nature will also be there, but only thing is that we don't want to go overboard in it. Aggressiveness is important, okay? All the people who are very successful, they're very aggressive in life, they're working day night. Aggressiveness is important, but it does not mean that you give completely, you give yourself out, saying that okay, now I will destroy my relationship also. This is what is required. And then 2025 yearly horoscope, the WhatsApp link is in description for personal appointments. And those who want to book online, acastro.ca is where they can book. Thank you, Rohit ji. Thank you for your patience as well.
Thank you, Akashji. Really thankful to you from on the behalf of all the family members of AC Astro, because making such a detailed presentation of a 2025 day by day, month by month, planet by planet, you decode everything for the family members. Thank you very much. Aries people might be very happy because 9 is a number of 2025, and that
Yes, Rohit.
relates again Mars, and Mars is their Lagan lord. So this is very good for Akashji as well because he's Aries sign. So might getting so might.
My Rohit ji, my Sade Sati starting. I'm so scared.
Yeah, nothing to scare because whatever you done in past 3 years or 2 years is on my mind. Everything, every step I have knowledge. So and you are abroad, definitely Saturn is going to bless you. But the thing for the people who are entering in 2025, my suggestion for them as a family member, yes, this is a very good opportunity. And every year we launch this yearly package just to say you that plan your year sitting with Akashji, whether you have to file paper for, going abroad, for a higher education, for marriage thing, planning for kids. If you will plan everything, especially 2025, I feel this year is very messy year, so many transits, so confusion. But according to your personalized chart, maybe there are return of some planets, maybe there is something hidden in some house which you can achieve in particular month. So this is a advice to all family members. If you want to plan your 2025, sit with Akashji and have a very good planning. Thank you very much to
Thank you,
all
Rohit.
the family members of AC Astro and to Akashji. We'll meet you with next sign and next videos. Till then, Jai Shri
Thank
Ram,
you.
Jai
Jai
Hanuman,
Hind,
Jai
Jai
Mata Di, Om
Mata
Namah
Di.
Shivaya, Jai Mata Di.